I will do it if you guys want me to, but please don't leave me by myself. Okay. Hello, welcome to episode 35 of that RowRow and Kades podcast. My name is Kelly, also known as RowRow and Kades, and you can find me on YouTube and Instagram. Welcome. This is a knitting and designing podcast from the northeast of England. So welcome back if you are a returning viewer. Hello again. And welcome if you are new. It's really lovely to have you here. Yeah. Hello. So, I have had a funny old week of getting a couple of things finished, getting a couple of things blocked, and then not a lot else. So I'm still suffering with my dodgy old shoulder. So I can only knit for, some nights I can knit for a fair amount of time, and then other nights I can only knit for like an hour and then I've got to put it down. So I haven't been knitting as much as I would like at all. And it's actually starting to really frustrate me because there's things that I want to get done and I can't get them done. Excuse me. But I'm going to show you everything I've been working on. I'm going to have a slurp of biscuit tea. It's just biscuit tea in my old chip mug. It's real round here, right? If you're new here, it's a reality podcast. There's no airs and graces. There's no, what's it called? Something and whistles. I'm not very good at sayings. I usually mash them together. But yeah, there's none of that. It's just I drink from a chip cup. Who cares? Do you really care what mug I'm drinking from? No. Well, you might, but like, because I like pottery too. I'm waffling like crazy. I'm going to get on. I'm just going to shut up. Oh my God. Right. What I'm wearing. Let's start with that, shall we? So I am wearing my new design, the Stormseeker tee. And I did it cropped. So this is Stormseeker tee. So I don't know if you can see, but it goes all the way around the back, and we have these lightning bolts going across your chest. It is a top down in the round tee. So this is my new design, and this is what I've been concentrating on this week. I just wanted to get this done. I decided to do it cropped because after I'd mentioned about it being cropped, a lot of people were saying, once you mentioned short sleeves and cropped, I was in. So I was like, okay, let's do it cropped then. So I have done a cropped version, and in the pattern I've said to this measurement, the cropped measurement, but then you can extend it to as long as you want. I'm probably going to put yardages for if you extend to a longer length as well. You probably just need an extra ball, to be fair. Well, it depends what you use. An extra skein. But yes, it depends obviously on the length of the skein that you're using. But basically, it's knitted in 4-ply or fingering weight yarn on 3.5mm needles, which I think is a US 4. I think. If it isn't, I'll write it below. But yeah, it's a really simple pattern. It is written and charted. It's not out. I will tell you when it comes out. It has been sent off to my tech editor. And then I'm going to try and get it into testing after tech editing. And then to make sure it fits everybody. It is sized from No, you're testing me. I think it's 28 to 60. It could be 30 to 60. I can't properly remember. But it's got a 5 to 10 centimetre ease and there is 9 sizes. So, yeah. It's coming soon. So this is Stormseeker Tea. I knitted mine in the Yarn Collective Fleurville 4-ply in the Brunier colourway. When I saw the Brunier colourway online, it looked a little bit more fancy than this. It looked a little bit more variegated. And it's not, it's kind of just a grey. It's got like little bits of, you won't be able to see them on the camera, but it's got like little, like tan bits in it, like kind of like a beige streak running through. But yeah, it's not as oof as I thought it was going to be, so I was a little bit disappointed in the yarn, but it's blocked so soft and beautiful. It's quite drapey as well, and yeah, if you find the colour for you, I recommend the Yarn Collective's Fleurville. It is a nice yarn. I think you can only get it on lovecrafts.com, I think, but I've never seen it anywhere else. But it is a lovely yarn, and it's often on offer as well, which is when I got this. I think this sweater quantity, which was 3 skeins, cost me £30, give or take. So in this day and age, that's about $35. We're pretty much the same these days. That's US dollars. Everywhere else, I don't know, I'm sorry. That's about all I can tell you. But yes, it is going to tech edit in. Hopefully it won't take too long. No pressure on my tech editor, because I know she watches the podcast. So no pressure. But as soon as it's finished tech editing, it will be straight into test knitting. And hopefully flies through and should be released around about May time. I will keep you informed. Right, it is still the middle of winter in the UK, and this is a summer tea, so I apologise, but I'm going to get changed into my warm hoodie. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I was getting changed there as if you were actually waiting for me. I was like, I need to hurry up, they're waiting. No. What was I going to say? My dog went out. That's what I was going to say. My dog went out while I was getting changed, and she's still out, so I will have to get up and let her back in. Well, she'll let herself in, but I'll have to go and shut the door because it is freezing today. We've had lots and lots of snow, and then it's like gone by the afternoon. We did have a couple of days of actual snow where the lads went, my boys, my sons, went sledging. I have the biggest pile of washing ever because Rowan was basically, that's my 6-year-old, was basically going out for an hour, coming home soaking wet, changing into warm dry clothes, going back out, going in, changing into warm dry clothes. My washing pile is huge. I don't think he's got any tracksuit bottoms in his drawer left. He's just, and his trainers don't even go there. And his wellies and his boots, everything soaking wet. So yes, I'm not a fan of snow. Anyway, I have another finished object. I don't think I showed you these last time. I think I showed you them, but I think I was only like at the heel. So this is my Mermaid Avenue socks. Yeah, I'm sure I haven't showed them finished. I'm sure I've done them over the last 2 weeks. I did them, I think, right at the beginning of the last 2 weeks, I think. So I've kind of forgotten. But yes, they are both completed. I only have one of these blockers, but they're both done. This is Mermaid Avenue socks by Summerlee Knits. So it is a heel flap and gusset, and then this amazing scaly textured pattern, which is really simple, and it really does look like scales. And this yarn is Mountain Colours. I don't know what, what's the word? I don't know what base it is. I haven't got the label anymore. I know it's Mountain Colours and I know it's the Cornflower colourway. I have heard through a podcast viewer that they are closing down though, or selling up at least. So I'm not sure how obtainable this is, but it is the perfect yarn for scaly socks. So yeah, I'm happy with them. And I know Summerlee Knits is a massive sock designer. I'm not slagging her off. I've only knitted a couple of her socks before, and I know this pattern was an old pattern of hers, but it's not great. It's not a great pattern. The socks are great, but I think if I was a beginner knitter, or not even that, if I was just a knitter who hadn't knit socks before, it would not be the pattern I would go for. It's quite, you need to know the anatomy of a sock. You need to know how a cuff down sock works yourself to be able to follow the pattern. It's okay, it's not horrendous. My biggest bugbear was that you have to increase to do this scale pattern. So you do your cuff and then you have an increase row, I think, to do the scales because they bunch. So to make it fit, you have to make extra. So when you get to the heel flap, there's a decrease row here across the top of the heel flap, but she just gets you to calculate that yourself, and that's a big bugbear for me in a pattern. Somebody, I've mentioned this before, and somebody had said just use the knitting calculator. Yeah, I know, that's absolutely fine. My issue with it is that I design a lot of patterns and I have to do a lot of maths and calculation while I'm knitting the pattern. So when I'm knitting somebody else's pattern, I don't expect to have to do calculation. Like, I want to just chill out and knit the pattern and not have to get my calculator out or a knitting calculator or anything like that to work out a decrease. I expect the designer to do it for me. And when they don't, it just annoys me. It's just a personal opinion. I'm not saying that that's what should be industry standard or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. It's just a personal opinion. It annoys me. Luckily, this was just the top of a cuff, top of a heel flap. But I have seen that happen in garments and things, just decrease evenly around the middle or whatever. And it's like, why am I having to work this out? Like, you could go to a knitting calculator, the designer, and type all the sizes in of what you need and write down what the knitting calculator says. You do not need to sit with the calculator yourself if you feel like you can't do it. So like, that's what annoys me. It just feels like it's a bit lazy and I don't like that. If it was a free pattern, it wouldn't have bothered me as much, but it's not. It's a paid for pattern. And in my opinion, if I'm paying for the work, then I expect the work to be done. Sorry. I know that this can sometimes be an unpopular opinion, and I know when it's a big designer, they have a lot of fan people. They have a lot of people who really, really enjoy their work and everything else, and I get that. And if you say something about them, it can offend people, and I get that. But my opinion is my opinion. If I can calculate everybody's size and decreases and increases, then so can all the big guys. So, just saying. Other than that, it's a great pattern and they look amazing. But please, if you haven't knitted socks before, please knit socks first. That's my dog coming in. Please knit socks from a different pattern first. Before she has a tutorial pattern. So maybe if you want to go with Summerlee, knit one of her tutorial pattern. There's someone bringing my pin in now. Knit one of her tutorial patterns and then knit this one. But I would not go to this one first. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to go and shut my door. Okay, so I've had my rant. Now we'll go on to whips. because I have no other finished objects. I was concentrating on the Stormseeker tee and the Mermaid Avenue socks. I did do a little bit of work on my Salty Air tee, and I was and ahhing. I'm at the cropped length. So I was like and ahhing to maybe leave it at the cropped length. But after trying on the Stormseeker tee and just wearing it for a little bit, I'm gonna go full length. I think I'd constantly be tugging, and I don't really feel like I have the clothes to wear cropped. I don't know. Maybe in the future. I think even my Stormseeker tee, I'm gonna pull out my rib and extend. That's basically done for pattern photos, because I know the cropped is like, that's what people want at the minute, and other people can extend. So I'm going to photograph it as a cropped, but the extension is there, and I think mine's going to be extended personally, just because I know I'm going to be pulling it. I'm going to pull it all out of shape. So we'll move on to whips, and I've only cast on one whip, and I only cast it on a couple of days ago, and that is from my Make 9, and I started top left with the Teasel socks. So this is Teasel socks by Jane Burns. I'm going to stick my hand in because they're on the needles and they're a bit hard to see. Oh, you focus and then you unfocus. There we go. So I don't know how much it's a bit difficult to see the pattern. You can see it in the flesh, but on there it doesn't look like it's picking it up very well. I'm not sure. My dog on her bed. These are knitted in Skein and the Stitches Tethis, which was a sock club last year. She did the Titans sock club, and this was Tethis. And I fell in love with the imagery for Tethis, and bought the Skein, and then fell in love with the Skein. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And I've been waiting for something wonderful to come up, and then when I decided to do Teasel, I thought they were the one. So that is the leg complete, apparently. You do 2 repeats. Now, I do have a confession. I knit all my socks on a 2.25mm needle. I'm not sure what it is in US. Is it a US 1? I don't think it's on this needle. I think the size is on, yeah, the size is on the cord, isn't it? No. I think it's a US 1. I'll put it down below. But I knit all my socks on a 2.25, and I knit the 64 stitch cast on, or as close to. Went in my mouth. Teasel comes in 2 sizes. It's a 64 stitch cast on and a 72 stitch cast on. But Jane, the designer, says to knit them on a 2.5mm needle, and I didn't. I stuck to my 2.25, and I'm not sure if they're going to fit me. I mean, I don't know. They seem a little bit tight. They might stretch. They do seem a little bit tight, and maybe I should have cast on a 72. I don't have a 2.5mm needle spare, which was why I just, that's going to go in my mouth again. Why I just went with what I know, but oh, it's very noisy in here today, isn't it? We've got bins coming in, we've got dogs moving around, we've got sprays going off. I'm sorry. So yes, I'm knitting away, and while I'm knitting them, I'm thinking, are they going to fit you? So I might actually try and get that on my foot before I go into the heel, because it's only 2 repeats of the pattern. And that's what it calls for, two pattern repeats, and then you go into heel. So whether that, I mean, that's not too bad, but I might do another pattern repeat. I don't know yet, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to try them on and see if I can actually get them on, because if I can't, then I'm either going to try and find a 2.5mm needle because I think I have one, or cast on the 72 stitch instead. I'll be very sad to pull this out because it hurts to knit at the minute, so pulling things out is just not my idea of fun. But yeah, they're beautiful. So this is Teasel, anyway, by Jane Burns. Oh, you can see it a bit better there, can't you? It's really pretty. It's really pretty. Doesn't go in your head though. I'm doing the chart. It's not staying in my head. I'm having to, on my size, you have to do the chart 4 times per row, and every row I'm having to look, every repeat I'm having to look how to do the repeat. It's just not going in. But that sometimes happens to me with chart reading. I kind of don't take in the pattern as well as when I do the written instructions. I don't know if that's a thing. But yeah, that's my only whip. I did cast on another pair of socks. They're a new design. I'm not going to show you them because basically I cast them on. I knitted a couple of pattern repeats of this pattern that I want to use in a pair of socks, but the yarn isn't right for the pattern. The yarn's a very dark teal. It's beautiful, but the pattern is getting swallowed up by the yarn. So the pattern needs to be changed to a lighter coloured yarn, which I'm going to do. I have the yarn for it. And the dark teal is going to be used for a different sock design that I have an idea for. So I did cast that on and I've knitted probably about the same as Teasel. I've knitted about that much, but it's not working out. So, but that's everything I've been knitting on this last 2 weeks. Not a lot of stuff. But I have got 2 finished objects, so I should feel proud of that considering it's painful. I have blocked my shawl. You guys said about my tiny shawl, my tiny no shades of grey with 2 shades of grey shawl, that shawl. I'm going to clean these. I can't see you. Not that I can see you anyway. You are a black circle. But I know you're down there. You're inside my camera. I can see you. But I can't see you because my glasses are dirty. Just a minute. Right. Oh. Okay. So, my no shades of grey shawl with 2 shades of grey. You guys were saying about how if I blocked it because it's garter, if I blocked it because it was garter, it might get bigger, and that a lot of you wanted to see it get bigger. My battery's gonna die. Give me a minute. Right. So I reblocked. I hadn't blocked it in the first place. I hadn't blocked my No Shades of Grey shawl, if you remember. And a lot of you were saying you'd like to see it blocked. So, and I also noticed that in the video where I did show this shawl, the entire time I'm showing you it, I'm showing you the wrong side. But you know. So I did block it. It did grow. It's still not massive. But, see, it looks a lot bigger on there. So it did grow. It smells delicious. Because I used Soak's Celebration. It's got the twisty twiddly ends. Yeah. So it is bigger. It's going to be awkward putting this on with a hoodie. But yeah, it's much bigger, isn't it? It's not as big as Helen Stewart's. It's definitely not that sort of size, but I did mess up big time with the gauge. But that blocking has really, I'm showing you the wrong side again, I think. That blocking has really sorted it out. That red is not burn your eyes out red in reality. So yeah, better. So there you go. So yeah, I'll probably wear it now. I don't think I was going to wear it before. It's like a kerchief, and kerchiefs are not for me. So there we have it. That is, it's not called the No Shades of Grey shawl. It is called the name that will not stay in my head. The Sunset Skies shawl, I think, by Helen Stewart. Curious Handmade. It's a lovely pattern. It's just a short row shawl. It's nice. There you go. I've got nothing else to say about it really. I have spoke about it a lot. I just thought I would show you it now. It's blocked because a few of you asked me. And finally, I actually have an acquisition. So, last episode, I think, I'd mentioned that I had some ideas for tops in this little brain, but I didn't have any sweater quantities of yarn, so I was going to have to save up some pennies to be able to design them. The Stormseeker tee, I had that yarn from ages ago. That top's been in my head for such a long time, but I just hadn't had time to actually work on it. I have 2 other tops that I want to get out, and one of them is another summer tee, which I would like to get working on now so that I can get it out just after Stormseeker. But the other one is more penciled for like the autumn coming around. It's a bit of a warmer tee, not a tee, it's a warmer jumper. And I have no yarn for that at all. I don't have any thick yarn in my stash. It's not something that I buy. So I had no sweater quantities of that sort of yarn, and also I'm broke. Basically, I'm absolutely skinned. The whole having a small family, the 2 of us, and we can't afford to heat our house palaver, which I know so many people are going through at the minute, and I just cannot spend any of my spare money on yarn right now. However, I had mentioned this, and a really lovely podcast viewer and also Instagram follower who I'd only spoke to a couple of times before, a handful of times, she messaged me and she said she'd seen the video and she wondered if this would help. She'd said, I hope this will help, and she sent me a voucher for Wool Warehouse. Like, wow. Don't get me wrong, I told her no, I can't accept that, like that's too much, and I don't expect anybody to buy me yarn or anything, but she said that she'd had my Stitch on Sunday blanket pattern, and she watches the podcast and everything, and she would just like to give something back, and she just really wanted me to have this voucher, and I was absolutely blown away. So Joanne, thank you very, very much, like seriously, thank you. Getting teary. So I accepted her voucher and bought some yarn for this autumn style jumper that is buried somewhere in here. I know exactly what it is. It's not that buried. It's not dusty or anything. It's after the next one. So this is what I got. I ordered Drops Alaska, because you know I'm a Drops girl. Drops Alaska, and I got, oh, what is this colourway called? Was it North Sea? I'm going to look that up because I really want to know. Yes. North Sea, which I lived my entire youth close to the North Sea. I'm from the northeast of England, and I lived in a town that was not on the coast, but it wasn't far from the coast, and the North Sea was where we used to go at the weekends, at the beach, at the North Sea, and dip a toe in it and then run away because it's freezing. It's never warm. It is not a Mediterranean Sea. It is the North Sea. It is cold. But seeing the North Sea, it just brought me back to my youth, and I don't live too far away from it now. It's like an hour's drive to the North Sea. But it's not even that, actually. But yeah, and I've seen this colour and was just, it's to die for, so this is it. Oh, that is not showing you the true colour at all. That looks blue and it's not. It's like a what if I come back here? Maybe that's it. I'm going to put a picture up. I'm going to put a picture up there of its true colour because it's not blue. It's like a beautiful teal green. It's absolutely stunning. And yeah, I have a lot of it to make this jumper. I needed 18 balls and so that's what I ordered. I'm not a small girl. Sweater quantities are a lot. Yeah, so I will be working on that soon. I really want to get cast on. It's an Aran weight, I should tell you. It's an Aran weight. Drops Alaska is 100% wool. Yes, 100% wool, 70 meters per ball. I thought that had stopped recording then. Yeah, this is colour number 64, North Sea. It is beautiful. I cannot wait to start. Part of me just feels like doing it, but no one's going to want to buy that pattern in summer because it's a jumper. And it's in Aran weight and I can't wait. So again, to Joanne, seriously, you are amazing. Thank you so, so much. Yeah, everyone say thank you to Joanne in the comments so that I can keep designing. Right, so that's pretty much it today for everything yarn wise and woolly wise. I do want to say thank you to all the appreciation and love on the little fox and panda stitch markers. The pandas, nobody bought a panda. I've still got them all rummaging around out the back. But the foxes flew out the door and they're all winging their way to their new owners. And then a couple of days ago, a lovely podcast viewer and friend, she's my friend, Angie, asked me if I could do a silver fox. So I was like, oh, that's a good idea. So I ordered some extra beads to make her a silver fox, and I will be making more silver foxes. So if you're interested in a silver fox instead of a rusty fox, keep your eyes peeled for them. Come into my Etsy shop. But I also got extra beads, and I am now going to be making toadstools and possibly hedgehogs. And the reason I say possibly is that the brown beads I got are not quite hedgehog colour in the tube. When I look at them, I'm like, ooh, are they going to be any good for a hedgehog? They might be okay. I'm going to bead one and see what it looks like. I'll maybe bead one, take a photo and put a poll up on here and see what you guys think too. So yes, that is my plans for the stitch markers. I'm going to keep doing beaded stitch markers because I really enjoy doing it. It's really relaxing and you guys seem to like them, so why not? The other news is that in a couple of weeks I'm going to do an Ask Me Anything, no I'm not. In a couple of weeks I'm going to do a Q&A video. So I'm going to answer questions that have been asked. I currently have an Ask Me Anything open on my Instagram. I'm going to hiccup. I currently have a Ask Me Anything open on my Instagram, and they will be answered in the video rather than on Instagram. There's an anonymous version and just a normal version. However, when this video comes up, they're probably timed out. So I'm going to open it on my community page on here. So if you go to my main channel, if you go to my channel, across the top there'll be like videos, playlists, and then eventually it'll say community. Click on that and you'll see like just still posts I'm going to put it on there and ask me anything, any questions you've got. If you write them in the comments on that, and then I will answer those questions, or as many as I can anyway. And also, because I've been doing a podcast every 2 weeks, but in between the 2 weeks I've been doing another video, and I've really liked that. And I think you guys have as well. I want some ideas for new videos. I've asked on Instagram today, but I would like to ask you, since you were the guys who watch the things, what sort of videos you would like to see from me. Now, I know someone said about doing, like the hat one that I did last week, someone said about doing a sock one, and I was thinking of doing a jumper one as well, of those. So I've got those two to do. Someone else has asked me to do like how to measure and size yourself to pick the right size for a jumper, things like that. So I could maybe do that. But yeah, I just want some ideas from you guys. Even if it's like something you've seen, something you've already seen somebody else do and you think that would be a nice idea for me to do. I don't mean to copy, I just mean like, you know when you see people doing, I've wrote this in my Discord today, but you know when you see people doing stash diving, my stash is in there. Well, some of it. My stash is in these boxes. Look, I'll give you a sneak peek. See? Oh, you can't see. Can you see? They're chock-a-block full. You see in there? Not really, but I can't pull it out any further because it'll fall out. But that is my stash in there. So I could maybe do like a stash dive one of just that cupboard because I've got stuff stacked all over the bleeding place. But yeah, maybe just like, you know when you see people do that, like just because I'm like, I don't know, I feel like I'm not in the loop of things. So things like that lots of people do and you haven't seen from me, let me know. Let me know either in the comments below or I'll open a community thing and we can comment on there and have a chat as well. Oh, and the other thing I was thinking, what about if I did, this is like me brainstorming to you, I was thinking of maybe doing a YouTube live, but I'll just be sitting knitting and we can have a chat. I was thinking of that. Would you like that? Because I know I do the knit nights on Discord, but I know how I used to feel about those. I would see them pop up, people would be having a knit night, and I'd be like, that'd be really nice to go to, but I was terrified and I never went to any of them because logging into somebody else's just felt so like, oh no. So, and I get that, and I think that there's going to be probably a lot of you out there who feel like that, who would like to go to it, but you just can't because you don't feel comfortable enough to log into the session and everybody see you, and like it's horrible, isn't it? It's not a nice thing. Do not get me wrong. If you did decide to come to my Discord knit nights, they are extremely welcoming and everybody would be like, oh hello, who are you, blah blah blah. It's not like everyone goes, who's this? So I want you to know that. I want you to know that because that was one thing that I used to be really frightened of. But I know that some people just won't want to do that at all. Some people don't want to be seen, which you don't have to be on my Discord. You can leave your camera off and just talk. But I get all of that. So I was thinking if I come on live and then you don't have to be seen or heard, you can just type to me and I can chat. Would anyone be interested? I'm going to lose my voice. Would anybody be interested in doing that? And if so, let me know and then I'll organise something like that, because I think that would be nice, but I also don't want to do a live and just sit there on my own. So, because I'd be terrified, I'd be frightened of doing a live. So I will do it if you guys want me to, but please don't leave me by myself. Okay, and have lots of chat ready. Okay, I'm going to leave you to it. Have a lovely rest of your day and I will catch you hopefully next week with a new video, but at the minute I have no ideas of what to record. I need to dig all my socks out and dig all my jumpers out, and I don't really want those back to back anyway because I've just done the hat one, so I want to leave a little bit of space before I do all the socks and then all the jumpers. So there's not as many as there is hats. Hats is insane. But yeah, so at the minute I don't know if I'll be back next week. I hope I will. Hope I think of something quick. But yeah, let me know, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye.